Hello, species value nature system. Happy New Year. Should comb my hair. So this is about the three natures of volume. Everyone is an individual in demonstration of this. How the three natures of volume are inseparable from each other as the Trinity's value. Jesus Christ is about how this is an increasing nature of volume, and how as life as a quality of diffusion, positive or negative, in relationship to the identity that inventions work in relationship to or not, as an identity of value progression that is also what makes inventions positive or negative further or not in relationship to itself. And this is actual science. Now, this is also actually, this is why the name and the value of each God is more and more value. But in other words, the name Allah is revealed as science and demonstration of that. Because every value that we're holding is positive or negative in relationship to if we're holding it right or not, in relationship to this identity of volumes, identity of relationship to itself. When we are holding it positive, it is value to individuals first, in sequence. When we're holding a subject like a book, positive, we are positive to its like the Quran, a book like the Old Testament. We are holding it. We have to hold it positive to its sequence, but it was not. Everyone's holding the value of it out of sequence, as criminal insidiousness nature, because this is what they're demonstrating was going to happen. Because and stay until we demonstrate how they're about criminally foreign influence, force, criminal collusion as knaves with hundreds of nations individually grouped in together. What can't defend their roles for shared police and not talking about that, and our free rights needs to free speech at the same time. They can't stand correlation nature simultaneously inherent active and progressive means in relationship to how the identity of the ground of the founding houses of this nation, how they were involved with tactically criminally denatured relationships to nature that were used for the factory nature slavery of our founders, recorded that our history is really about. See, what we have criminal insidiousness nature takes, pretended positive breaching screen takes in value of the old of the Declaration of Independence and of religions, because they're needing to keep how they kept right to religion originally, and still not let individuals first be valued. They're not letting free speech first to individuals. They're stealing identity still first. They share. Everyone was engineered, built valuing, blaming the causes of this on other things on others themselves. Nations, because states and areas were and are still valuing natures of industry needs by that in this torture method that we're supposed to have free speech to talk about. We're not doing it. There's identity theft. Each campus I went to in town, they're keeping everyone as victim predators. Everyone doesn't want to talk about it because they don't. This is former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and a whole bunch of federal criminals involved with him, associated with crimes from off campuses, and then on and off campuses, each one I went to, and with the people associated with their family members, all facilitated the crime acts roles with houses in my area, and with people associated with the extended family members of one involved with child offenders. And what brought it up is untimely deaths. One on the campus of Trinity College, and one tied to it. Other ones tied to it, but that one tied to it that brought up the child offender with the campuses. And that was a they said they have a guy in prison who was one principal, but he was recorded and confessed, involved with other police, recorded and confessed. Before that, they forced with other worse child offenders than him with his school and with other schools. This is with um, principals retired and standing. In other words, the guy and the doctor of the prisoner principal is also crimes with the kids, and he's in a Sandy Hook prison though, a prison in Sandy Hook. He was reportedly now, and families are that's Sandy Hook, Newtown, where there was shooting in the school. See, these are people associated with crimes with campuses and with guns further, as people with badges and titles that were originally and still kept criminally foreign influenced. Uses of the identity of the ground. Uses of each age effect human nature. Uses of the problems only let realized already having been valued, blamed on other causes, other things themselves. Even when the right people are caught for things, they're having, all that's to that blamed on other causes, blamed on them. In other words, there are the same crimes that are going on through time. That our branches have roles with because they're individually grouped together and criminally foreign influenced, as all private tied to them at the same time, distinctly and non-distinctly, and as all with the identity of the ground relationship to that, distinctly and non-distinctly. Most people don't realize how from off campuses, even the branches don't realize except for needs to hide life delusions, needs to hide natures that already value having the real causes of negative value nature, progressions, action natures blamed to other causes, other things than themselves. Sent the clauses about criminal justice rackets. In other words, with the area, because then they have live progressions, valuing the obfuscation of what English is revealed to teach, which is about this identity, a relationship to all parts of space nature. The English letters are a value manifest, not by accident. 26 sounds have an identity of relationship to themselves that are a demonstration of how we are a nature of value, of a nature of volume that has an identity of relationship to itself that is the value as that. Breaching method methodically forsaken, not let understood, worse than obfuscated. To exploit roles, needs, and natures only let realize valuing that. So we have cars and all these things, forget about it. We have threats with not one nature capable of speaking for them. We have no integrity nature. We have each age effect, human nature, victim, predators, in relationship to defenses of pseudo-positive, criminally legalized. And that made criminal insidious natures not understanding what really is facilitating and using most the overt criminal enterprises as recorded. But this is recorded, preventing free speech from demonstrating this, preventing recorded crime methods using the identities of the campuses. A heart is a complete identity. Lungs are a complete identity. They are simultaneously unceasing semi-nature relationships to our complete identity and demonstration of this. The heartbeat of Allah. One identity cannot be value, but as itself. Can't be value, trying to be value as a trinity, and a bomb just with that couldn't be it. And then it tried to be value 5 semi-natures, a little bit before, a little bit beyond that could be that. But together, it went from 3 to 5. It could be that one value could be, for a moment, became three values, the Trinity, and that gained the value of the two semi-natures of the complete nature that couldn't be when it was being that identity. And then Allah stayed one identity that gained value strong enough to be three semi-natures and to be five semi-natures simultaneously while still staying a complete nature's perfect value progressions completely. Its identity of relationship to itself. And that's necessary to teach about what causes positive value nature progression and evolution and its fruits, its gifts, as the subject of Santa Claus, this identity of relationship to itself as our nature, and yet as a system that value nature systems, therefore treatments of positive, are all tactically ulterior from. So correlation nature has obligations, needs to demonstrate that and how people of Hartford, Connecticut never had legal representation and how they had worse. There are houses and businesses on off the state of Connecticut judicial branch offices also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with uses of the identities of the locations of the campuses, and together they're using each individual together grouped and progressively for an identity theft method that is having everyone speak through others. See, then people have to meet through other people too, and everyone's sensibilities are not letting integrity speak. They're only letting sensibility natures with convictions that are indifferent to crime rolls with our nation's directors and other nations juxtaposed, criminally using the identity of the ground in each age of our fact-cheating nature, and blaming other causes, selves, and things for their convictions and styles of lying when it comes needs for someone to protract correlation nature simultaneously inherent active and progressive means with voice to demonstrate this free speech. They're stealing our identities. This is grammar schools that have connections that were recorded and confessed when I was in grammar school. Now the daughter of the principal then was recorded and confessed, involved as a victim, but as a victim predator involved with a whole bunch of people with medical families criminally involved, also with overt drug crimes, because these are people involved with the Justice Department with various natures of courts. They deal with psychology with drug people, pretending people have mental problems because they need to do that to hide their life progressions with identity theft acts, forging names and switching names into branch police forms because they're criminally foreign influenced, maintain needing to. They have trade center predicate acts. These are people, this is Wethersfield, Connecticut, right below Hartford, Connecticut, between New York and Boston. And this is New Britain, Connecticut. All from Wethersfield crime acts interbranch through time, intercampuses. Then it goes like 6 years. Then they have 2 years in middle school, recorded and confessed with houses and with businesses next to it. The town offices criminally involved with the interbranch families, foreign and domestic, military families, intermilitary criminally involved, foreign and domestic military. Further with child offenders, further with judges forging, switching names and database illusion stacking as an evidence as identity theft rackets rolls, attaching me and attaching others and my family members through time to fake relationships to others, fake conversations, fake sequenships, fake locations, fake sequenship relationships to locations as interbranch offensive crime rolls, and then in cases too needed to pretend lies there to themselves and to others that need those illusions with areas. So they have those crime acts connected. They have offensive evidence reception crimes with areas. They're pretending they have integrity to solve cases when they're involved with the criminality that is exploiting the ground originally and still. They're involved with crimes of Russians recorded pretending to be against it. They know that Russians are with criminality, crime methods, with campuses that are recorded systemic with psychology, with medical corruption, with the drug cliques associated with various natures of courts, especially using probate courts, criminally involved with the hurting the kids and the elderly at the same time. Because this is maintaining each age of fact, cheap in nature, fit to roles, originally still valuing how the identity of the ground was exploited by all these people needed to hide from and to hurt each age of correlation nature simultaneously inherently active and progressive means. One way redeems. All the fentanyl and stuff like that, that's used to keep everyone blaming other causes and things themselves for what really is keeping all fake science natures who are good at math, running militaries of nations, recorded criminally foreign influence, easily, effectively, easily, follow mandated law, and get the judges' names and let's go, because they took positions too with an Emily or an Amy, and with they said his name is an Officer Hunter. He's recorded and confessed. They did that after they were already recorded and confessed involved crimes with him and with a Mayano family. They're also criminally involved with them with other courts that were criminally involved with confessions and stuff, federal crimes, verbal, that I tried to report because people asked for help for it every year since before the Trade Center attack. Then in the context, the same ones interstate were facilitated to crime acts, illusions, offensive evidence reception crimes. A proven sequence shift in the Ninth Circuit, Trade Center attack, Manhattan context. Proven after, but that proven led up to the 2006 part of the case /X with defendant former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, in the 2006 district court case, which has the interbranch from my town, who are also crime acts at every campus I went with before they were crime acts roles with the rest of them at CCSU and Trinity College with predicate acts roles, facilitated from off campuses. See now, so that's needing to pretend that the people on campuses aren't being coached. That's why they forge names, switch names. These are identity thefts. That's why we have to deal how it's an identity theft crime. Because that's everything. Logic has an identity that has a hierarchical relationship to everything. The only hierarchical that is positive value, and as semi-nature. Not, in other words, the only reason the semi-nature of our value is more or less value in relationship to itself is only because of it is a value as a quality of diffusion, as what is going to cause more positive value nature progressions here, evolution, or the loss of it, lethal hadiths, force from here, because it won't leak. This is a nature of volume that's only going to continue to gain. This is most logical where and how the plants got their bond, matter bond, got its bond, its value. And what denies this could only do so with physical delusions, with lies, and quality of premise treatment, fact sequence treatment, value treatment that is not by accident reliant upon recorded interscience physical delusions, criminal foreign influences since semi-ancient times. See, and that's recorded, effectively used, and tied to that how and why I can't get mandated law followed. And what kind of crime methods they're doing, attaching me and everyone I know to fake conversations, fake sequenceships and relationships, forging names, switching names into branch. 3 times they forced me into a triage for mental evaluation so they could prevent me from reporting the rest of the child offenders I recorded. And we have all kinds of gun crimes, bug spray crimes. So we have scared people. and they're forcing sustained problems because, you know, also because of the way they're using women, of sensibilities of students on off campus is sustained since before they get there. We also have, so Fox News, please respond to, because you have Thaddeus Grabowski, and you have a bunch of people associated with him in that corner, with the police forms with you guys criminally involved, and with shootings by police of people intercities tied, and all kinds of natures of crimes with them, as the ones involved with crimes that CCSU facilitated to it, as too. I don't know that Chris White too. There's a Chris White was reported confessed, one of the people involved with a Spada family that was reported confessed involved with the judges and their boyfriends involved with their neighbor with that Phil Colo. These are child sex offenders involved with drug crimes and stuff like that. And I only know these people. These are how they use girls to make confessions to people. We should have different girlfriend boyfriends at the same time, and then the other one had one of the as one of the brothers, and then her sister was one of the other brothers, partly of and demonstrably of a probate judge for a Delaferro family, like 5 or 6 brothers too. And then she had other brothers, other boyfriends at the same time. So I don't want to know that they bring girls and strangers. I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? I barely know them. Also recorded confess with the clubs downtown and the policing of them, associated with shared policing, whatever they have, with all these with Russians, Pakistani, and these nations with nuclear weapons sharing policing and sharing criminality with doctors and with mobile gas stations, with identity theft clicks, sequence shift clicks, wire crime rolls, mail crime rolls, identity theft crime rolls. That's what our history is about here.